Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is AC Racebest here.
That's good enough for me. I love it. All right.
Welcome to the Semi Perfect Podcast. I don't know which episode it is. 36.
No one does.
Okay.
No one does. It's all just a big blur at this point.
And I am here with Toodles.
Hey.
And Saber Spark.
Saber, it's not like you fell down this stuff. Why did I sound like a goth? Never mind.
Same.
Well, hey guys, how are you?
Okay.
Hey, welcome back, Saber.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Finally have some status quo returning into my schedule. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
I'm having an interesting day.
What is that?
Well, I mean, worked today, but was ready for a very interesting next 24 hours because I was planning on waking up at 3 a.m. to go to work tomorrow.
Gross.
Yeah, to be somewhere at 5 a.m. It's, whew. But what's weird is I just got a text from my coworker saying, "Oh, things got pushed back an hour." But now I'm terrified because I'm like, what if they're just trying to get me fired?
Actually, think that?
No, but what if it happened? I think it'd be kind of hard. It would be kind of hard to disprove a text message that's on my phone. But yeah, no, it's weird because we've spent this whole like 2.5 weeks discussing this, and suddenly now it's like, oh, we're meeting an hour later.
Well,
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys see? It's scary.
well, I hope everything works out, Race.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sarah,
Thanks.
how are you?
Yeah. I'm good. Had a pretty full day.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of chillaxing.
How goes
Sarah-
how goes the art stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Kind of putting more work on myself for these thumbnails that I have to do for one class, but oh well. And commissions have been going good. Patreon's good.
Is it pretty consistent, steady work?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
She smogged my car today.
She's smug. It mocks me with its smug aura.
I had to take it to get the smog checked.
Well, was there a dragon in there?
No.
No.
Smaug checked.
My God, my roommates are making something tasty downstairs. I can smell it. Smells. Really
Oh,
good.
that's terrible. Tell him to stop. Just tell him to stop.
Well, just throw it out there. Not looks like Paleo won't be joining us tonight because of his work, and then Matt is under the weather, so he won't be joining us either. It's just myself, Race, and Sarah tonight. It's gonna be a shorter episode, but it's all good. We got the pony episode that happened this past weekend. Actually, I'm surprised. I watched it, and Race just caught up with it, so it's kind of neat. We all can talk.
Yeah.
Kind of a switch up.
Yeah, usually I'm kind of dropping the ball.
Because it's buckball.
So
Okay.
shall we do food
Oh,
posts?
Yeah, if y'all want to do that, go for it.
Okay. Let me.
I see eggs already.
I see shrimp.
Let's see here. As we go through, it's funny
I see
actually
Alex
because
Greer, he's having a couple of donuts, or maybe one donut and something else that I don't know what it is exactly. And he has book number 3 from Gravity Falls.
nice.
I still need to finish that show.
Let's see.
I finished it, but I never started it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Like
Don't spoil it, please.
No. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say that I watched the last season of that show, but I never saw the first season of that show.
It's so funny because I'm not sure if it's really super mandatory either.
Yeah, not really.
It's not, but there were a lot of things I had to ask Sarah about, like,
Yeah.
oh, is that a character and this and that? Like, just throughout
Yeah, a
the
lot of
entire
characters
last
do
episode.
come back. Like, okay, Jory has, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sushan beef? Some type of Asian thing?
Sounds good to me.
And
Some
some
type of Asian
Pepsi?
thing.
I don't know. It just says Taipei on the box. I'm like, oh, well, maybe
It's
that's,
gonna be an Asian thing.
I don't know, maybe it's
Maybe it's just,
not.
maybe it's just some kind of black thing. I don't know.
Asians.
Stop.
You know, sir, I thought you were progressive. Turns out you're all state.
We all make mistakes.
No,
We have to try.
Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
Cadet Red Shirt has,
Aw. She does?
yeah.
And then Shifro has eggs. Shrimp.
Yeah, it looks like
Nice.
her.
Okay,
Fine.
sweet. So those are our food posters here tonight.
Yep.
Good work, everybody. So that covers our Twitter. Thank you, everyone who posted. Where should we start?
I guess the episode.
Let's get to
You
it.
want us? Let's start
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.
A quick little backstory. So I went and visited my girlfriend this past weekend, and while I was visiting her, I got to go like visit her Brony Club on campus, and it was cool because I've never actually met with the Brony Club outside of a convention, and I got to meet some folks there and watch the episode with them. It was a lot of fun. I was like, I rarely, once again, outside of conventions, ever get to do like anything Brony related. And
Did they all know you beforehand from YouTube?
some of them I met at BronyCon, and then
Nice.
I think one other or two others knew me from, I guess, YouTube. But it wasn't like anything like, oh my god, which I never
Yeah.
would have, demand or expect.
That's where we're different.
Where are my offerings?
Now, Saber, here's my question, though, and this is important.
Yeah.
When you walked into this meetup,
Yeah.
did you proclaim to everyone in there, who is your brony now?
Well, yeah, that's the only way to formally introduce yourself.
Good, otherwise it would have been a shame upon this fandom.
No, I mean,
Oh, what's up? Food? What kind?
Well, folks,
damn it, I was.
Trio's down to 2.
and if he falls in love tonight.
Now just imagine that entire song with me running with a bowl of shrimp and rice. As the shrimp and rice pins me down and like gives me a seductive look.
Red Card also posted that he's got a chicken sandwich.
What food did they make?
One of my roommates, Joel, is a very excellent cook. Very nice guy and generous with sharing his food. And he made, I guess, shrimp and rice. So
I kind of could have guessed that considering you just referenced yourself running with shrimp and rice. But
Oh, well, okay, I didn't hear that part.
leave her be, Demon. Leave her be.
Okay, so the episode, Saber talked a little bit about it last night, and it sounded like you enjoyed it.
I did. It was a cute episode. I liked it.
Yeah,
My,
it was decent. It was good. It was kind of going back to like season 2
Yeah.
style or season 1 style episodes, which was nice.
that's what I thought. Like I got a season 2 vibe from it. It wasn't too serious, but it wasn't too like out there. It just kind of felt like, oh, okay. I thought Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie were great. Pinkie Pie was adorable with their outfits. It was good. I liked it. My only complaint is Buckball is stupid. I mean, the unicorn literally has no purpose in it. Like, what? Move the basket? Move the goal? That's stupid. I hate that's dumb. That's like goal guarding in basketball or something. It's not fair. If anything, it should just be like a basketball post with a stick in the ground where it's stationary. That would make it more like soccer or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's a kid show. What am I talking about? Who cares?
It'd be like having like the tall person in the class have to hold the hoop in the basketball game. It's like, okay, stand on that side.
Yeah, stay there.
No.
Excellent job.
Yeah. I actually foresee the Olympics picking up buckball at some point. We already have equestrian games legitimately in the Olympics, so I feel like we're just one step away from having unicorns and Pegasi involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it too. You know what I felt really took me back to like season 2 or season 1?
What's that?
What?
Snails spoke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually kind of prominent in this episode. I wouldn't
was
say
like,
like
oh.
he was the main character in
Oh,
this
Snails
episode,
was
but
hilarious. I thought he was the highlight.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
Snails in this episode.
I've liked Snails, and the fact that he wasn't, we weren't like, oh, it's a Trixie episode. Let's bring him in.
I liked the unexpectedness of him being the person that they
Yeah.
employ on their team,
Well, I liked.
rather than
He was
yeah.
fun.
I do like it. I like it.
When Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie were like, I quit, and he's like, I'm good. I'll stick around.
Yeah. In case no one's wondering, I'm still here. I also really appreciated, and it surprised me. But I was like, that's kind of a nice change of pace to like Rainbow Dash's character, because sometimes I feel like they go with extremes of, oh, she's competitive and that's it.
Mhm.
But the fact that she gave up her spot because she saw the benefit of having someone else playing instead of her, I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow.
She's
Look at that.
learning. She's growing.
Yeah, but very rarely does the show remember that.
Yeah, true.
Rainbow Dash is just up down.
Who wrote this episode? Let me check that.
Some new writer called Lauren Paust. I don't know.
Could it be?
Lauren sneaks back into the show.
What
Really,
a,
really weird.
Yeah.
under the
She's a ghostwriter for it or something.
What do you mean Josh Habert doesn't exist?
Written by Jennifer Skelly.
Yeah, they got a new batch
Have-
of really a female writer. Okay,
Yeah.
because I thought it was
Let's
the
see.
majority of male writers this season. So nice. Okay, cool.
There's a really cool thing,
Yeah,
by
I
the
think
way.
that was her first episode for My Little Pony.
She did a good job.
Yeah, I hope to see more episodes from her.
Yeah, it felt grounded, but it felt
Yeah.
different. Like I actually really liked it. Like it wasn't like a tear episode where it's like, oh my fucking god. It's more like okay, it's just a good slice of life episode, which is
And
what
it-
I like
it's
from
like-
the show.
A good use of the characters involved too.
Agreed.
Yeah, like we didn't have Rarity in the episode. We didn't need Rarity in the episode.
Yeah,
Ever.
we didn't
Usually
need
do, but
Twilight. They didn't even explain like we need unicorns. We're Twilight or Rarity. It's like nah, we know they don't like sports, so why?
I said that to Sarah. I'm like, yeah, if only we knew a unicorn. And she's like, well, I think they know that she
they
would
do
have
know.
nothing to do with us. It's like, good point. I want to give a shout out actually as we move forward, but to Sketchy
Oh,
on
gosh, yes.
Twitter has been doing a lot of work and is right now drawing. I'm going to retweet this right now, but is coloring the image that they made for us, and it's just super awesome. So give love to Sketchy.
Ooh, I see it.
Yeah. So great. Love you artists out there. But yeah, so overall, where do you guys think this episode would rate for you guys for this season?
I think it was
probably one of the best of the season.
I agree. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of
Like,
fun.
This season so far, other than the Christmas story episode, I feel has been just kind of eh. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's okay. It's been an okay season.
What about, okay, does it beat, though, as far as I know, one of your favorite episodes of the season leading up to this point was the one with Ember
I like
showing
that
up.
one. That was a lot of fun. That was a good episode.
So, but did this one get up to that level, you think?
Oh no, I thought the Ember one that one reminded me a lot of like because there were some episodes in season 1 and 2 where it starts off kind of slice of lifey, but then it kind of picks up with action and the fantasy aspect. Like I don't know when Fluttershy faced that dragon down in season 1 or whatever. I think like a really good episode to me is when Applejack Or I'm sorry, God, what episode was it? The I Love Lucy parody episode. I forget. I forget which one.
The cherry one?
Yeah, it must have been really good if I forgot. Whatever.
The Pinkie Pie Promise one.
It was good. I
Yeah.
liked it. It was up. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
That was good.
I liked it. It was a good
I
episode.
can't remember the name of the episode, but I know what you're talking about.
By the way, we have a Bernie dance party in the chat.
Oh, what up, dude?
Hi.
Hi.
So I mean, it was a fun episode, an enjoyable episode, and yeah, I can't talk.
Neither can I. We both suck. Sarah's the only good one today.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So do you guys want to hear about my dream?
Yeah.
What?
Sarah went to jail last night.
Geo?
Yeah.
Deal?
For everybody wondering, Sarah got arrested last night. And
What'd you do, Sarah?
what do you mean you don't? Sarah, you were there.
It's just,
Sorry.
I blocked it all out. It's,
Yeah. If you're wondering what she was doing. So last night I had a dream, and it goodness. Basically, I don't know why this dream stuck with me the way it did, but when I woke up, I felt terrible. So what happened was I had this dream that Sarah and I decided that it would be cheaper or more affordable for us to, instead of purchase, I don't know, snacks or something that we had to get at this gas station, that instead we would rob the gas station.
Okay, sounds like...
Not for like money, just for what we needed.
Give me your fruit roll-ups.
And we like compiled like this whole team of like, there were like 3 other people involved. Somehow I feel like this involved like Bernie convention type people, in the sense of like I feel like there were people I recognize from Bernie conventions. And yeah, Sarah and I walked in with shotguns and said, give us the thing that we need. We're responsible adults. We know what we needed, so we did. We went in and went shopping, and we were on our way to a demolition derby at a fair. And upon leaving the store, a cop car rolled up, and he was mad, and he said, "You guys are in trouble." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
And before Zootopia PD or something.
No, if it was Judy, I would have cooperated much better. But so they interrogated everybody involved, and they were mad and gave like kind of future lessons, like, I want you to think about how this is going to affect the rest of your life. But they never got to me because I decided to move my car while they were interrogating Sarah. And as I drove away, I realized that they didn't notice that I left and just completely didn't realize I was part of it. So I just left, and I went to the demolition derby. And so Sarah went to jail, and I left her to take the rap for me. Thank you for that, by the way, Sarah.
Oh, no problem.
And she was really cool about it too. Like, I got to give her credit. She was just like, "Hey," like we were texting back and forth. And she was just like, "Hey, if you want to pick me up." So I did, and I went and picked her up from jail. And we knew that, like, it was going to be harder because we've been looking at actually getting like a place and a home. And we're like, oh, this might make it harder to go job shopping because apparently they do background checks as far as wanting to know if you've been in jail. And yeah, and we said shit. So after the interrogation goes, then Sarah and I got going. And it's unfortunate that Matt's not here, but it's probably for the best because we ended up at... Good. You see, when Sarah and I got to the Demolition Derby, we saw the mansion that was right next to the Demolition Derby arena, which is Panama Matt's mansion, and we were kind of upset with him. I think we tried to get legal advice from him, and he didn't answer our phone call. So we were like, what a jerk. So we went into his house, his mansion, we broke in, and he has 6 really big dogs. And to get him back, we put the dogs, 5 of them, not all 6, but 5 of them, into a box, like a cardboard box.
Where the hell is this going? What's happening?
No, that's it. That's as far as it went. We put them in the box, and we're like, huh. But then there was a helicopter, a police helicopter. This is all legit, by the way. Like, I wrote this down to Sarah and texted her this morning. But then there was a police helicopter, and all of a sudden, all these cops break in, and I'm like, damn it, we're in trouble again. And they break in, and they have like this, like those like E.T. in the movie E.T. where they're like listening to the conversations of the people in the houses. They have those, and they're like, they're this way. And they go into the basement where the dogs are in the box, and they find the dogs, and they're like, oh my gosh, we found the dogs. And we were like, yeah, we were just putting them there, you know, for a second. And they didn't care that we'd broken in, and then I think I woke up.
So Left 4 Dead last night really messed with you.
You know what's funny is I'm pretty sure that's where most of this kind of got set into motion with like the shotguns and everything. Yeah, we played Left 4 Dead last night, and it messed me up apparently. So yeah, it was good though.
Yeah.
And Did
you feel
at
like
first,
you had some resolve?
the thing is that we were upset at first because we thought that Matt had called the cops on us when we broke into his house.
Sure.
And we're like, Matt, what? Like, I was like, what an asshole. You know, why would you do that? But then when we realized they were just there because they heard the dogs whining because they were in a box, then we were like, oh, okay, cool. And, it was all was good. I think we ended up missing the demolition derby, though. That was kind of a pain. But Sarah now has a dirty record, and I got away scot-free, so. Yep. Sarah's a thug.
Shame on you, Sarah.
For getting caught.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
I'm a starving artist.
Pardon me.
So story was that good?
So the episode, no, it was actually pretty bad. It's funny. Speaking of Left 4 Dead, though, last night we all played it, and like I was so tired and out of it because we played it pretty late in the night, at least for me because it was East Coast, and I actually was kind of like dazing in and out, and we were doing 4v4 or 4v3 with an AI to buff the other team, and it was the second round for this one level. It was myself, DB Matt, and Panama Matt versus Race, Sarah, Paleo, and then our friend Bash. And my team were the humans, and the survivors were trying to make our way through the map to the end of the round, and everything went to hell during the mid part of this map where this tank zombie came out and started smacking cars around. To which I promptly thought fuck it and just ran, and thought I'll just try to get to the survivor room, and I have no idea where it even is, but I'll try. And I went silently for a minute of running. I thought, holy shit, they haven't noticed. And then I heard
I noticed.
somebody is like, you gotta say it. I'm like, oh shit, now they know. And Sarah was the jockey, and she's coming after me, and I threw a Molotov and lit her on fire, and she jumped on me, and I'm like, oh, that's that. I'm like, unless maybe she
And then I died.
burned. No joke, I had like 10 health left, and she died, and I was standing there. I'm like, oh my god, I'm still alive. And I healed up before he's obviously get me, and I ran and I ran and I ran, and everyone else died, and I made it. And I'm like, holy crap, how did I make it? Oh lord! And then
It's really frustrating.
They got torched. I'm just being honest. You guys got blazed because Bash tried to do the same thing.
Bash tried to do the same thing, but when it started, and we turned around, we're like, Bash
doesn't work that way.
Half of us aren't even out of the safe room yet. Bash, stop!
So she's like YOLO. It's like no.
I'll carry the torch, and then he got torched, and we all did. It was a good round though. I mean, it was a fun game last night. We actually played a second round after you went to bed.
Really?
Yeah.
We haven't played Left 4 Dead like half a year. It's almost like a movie came out and distracted someone. But that's enough about Paleo.
Yeah. Speaking of movies distracting people, should I tell my story?
Did you tell
my
story?
My story about my ultimate restraint this past weekend?
Go for it. I'm gonna run to the bathroom because I have to use the bathroom badly. But start it off, and I'll be right back. So,
okay,
guys, this is a really funny story. Like he told me this yesterday when I was doing dishes, and I had to stop and start laughing because just the idea, the visual of Race doing what he's about to share, like it slays me. It just goes to show you how dedicated he is to his hobbies and passions. So go ahead, start off. I'll be right back.
All right, so Saber's gonna be back, and so I'm gonna give some context to this to see if I can stall a bit for him to get back in time. But essentially, so for those that don't know, I like Zootopia.
No.
Yes, Sarah, how much?
God.
Sarah, how much do I love Zootopia?
Too much.
Too much.
He loves it enough to have 4 posters up in our bedroom, 2 sets of Nick and Judy plushes, 2 sets of Disney Infinity Nick and Judy figurines, 2 large Tsum Tsums of Nick and Judy, as well as 2 mini Nick and Judy Tsum Tsums. And then he has the Walmart exclusive figurines of Nick and Judy. And then he has the pop vinyl figurines of Nick and Judy. And then he has the collector's pins. And then he has the, what is it? There's just like a big set of these small plastic toys of like a lot of the characters. So yeah. And I think that's it. I think that's all.
And
He's
then
got a
I
lot more
have.
little stuff, but yeah.
Did you mention? Did you mention the carrot pen
No.
or the shirts?
He's got like 6 shirts. He's got 2, technically 3 carrot pins. Yeah.
I got the
And
Disney Infinity figures. Oh my god. So going back to it, when I wrote the damn song called Buy Everything, I didn't actually realize I was going to become that song.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
basically.
I had no idea. Like it didn't hit me until like a few weeks after I did that. Because otherwise I would have purchased everything while I was filming it. It would have made it easier to film. But instead, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm probably not going to buy this, Judy Hopps plushie." And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, "I need 2 of them." And then, yeah, like Nora mentioned, I have a little toot plushie because of her. Thank you. And then really generous people at conventions that have given me a variety of things that have been awesome. Did you mention the Judy Hopps hat?
Yeah, I mentioned it at the last bit. He has the Judy Hopps hat, and then he also has like 4 different DVDs and Blu-rays or whatever. He's got a lot of stuff. I can't list all of it.
I'm not buying, by the way, that Saber went to the bathroom. I'm convinced that he's getting some shrimp and rice.
Probably.
I'm calling it now.
So start the story, dear. I think you
Okay. So that's kind of the roundup. So now a little bit more context. Sarah and I have been to Disneyland a couple times this year. I think this was our 16th time going this year. 15th?
15th or 16th.
And yeah, so we've been to Disneyland quite a bit, and ever since they had Judy and Nick walking around, it's been kind of a goal of mine to see them and say hi and specifically get a hug. And I don't know, like it's to me, it's funny because I haven't had this effect from characters of anything do this to me, and I'm just like completely obsessed with these Zootopia characters and the movie, obviously. And so, yeah, Sarah, being her gracious self, is completely cool with me. Well, doing this every time we go.
Yeah.
So
I'm back, by the way.
Okay, perfect. So I stalled a little bit, Saber. I was just giving kind of the backstory here, but essentially we've seen them about what you think 5 or 6 times now.
5 or 6 times, yeah.
Okay, because there's 2 stories that happened with this meetup. So on this past weekend, Sarah and I went to Disneyland again, And we got out there. I knew it. I knew you got shrimp and rice.
Dude, yes, of course I did.
Yes. I did.
He called it.
I'm dying.
I called it too.
It's got a kick to it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Is this like that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire?
Woo, 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 woo. Sorry. All right, go on.
So okay, so we're in line. We get in line for the last viewing of or meetup, I should say. Oh, shoot.
They dead? Was it a wake?
Of Judy and Nick, and we got in line just in time. We didn't even realize how close we cut it. But there was one group that got in behind us, and then there was a girl who was waiting in line, and she was specifically wanted to be the last person there. She had this Judy Hopps backpack, a Judy Hopps really small plush that I haven't seen before, actually.
Yeah, it was like a key chain type of thing.
And she wanted to be last so she could walk back with Judy and Nick to their area, which I've only ever seen happen.
The little kids.
Yeah, to little kids. It also, in my meetup video that I posted, you see it with a little girl where they walk back with her, and it's super cute.
That one girl who waved and got completely shut down.
So we're in line, and there's this mother, and Sarah, you're gonna have to kind of fill in some gaps here because I didn't even really pick up. Like, I kind of started to notice some things with this mother, but she was with 3 kids, and she started to sour the scene a little bit.
Yeah, she was one of the most obnoxious mothers I've encountered. She had, I think she had 4 kids.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. God, she was a bitch. She was a bitch.
Okay, so prior to Judy and Nick coming out, there were a couple things that you were already getting pissed off at.
Yeah.
What were they?
I want to paint the picture for you, by the way. For this mother, all right? A single mother struggling to put her kids through school, who constantly does everything she can to I don't know, I'm just laying down some framework to make this story sweet. And then she finally saved up enough money to bring her kids to Disney. And this poor mom, you know, she could only buy one movie to entertain her kids. And despite the movie always being played day in, day out, she bit her lip and thought, I'll do it for my kids. And maybe this explains why she might have a bit of a meltdown, because she loves her kids so much. Now go ahead and tell me your story.
But you know, like right as soon as they got in line, this mom's like, kind of like a drill sergeant, like, and she's like, "All right, everybody, get out your order books, get it ready, so we can get through this as quick as we can." And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, lady, just calm down. And like at first, I'm just like, all right, fine. She's just one of those moms that has a schedule, has set schedules or whatever that they need to get through during the day. So she's just trying to optimize. I'm like, okay, whatever. And you know, being a mom is the hardest. It's very hard. And I try to give some moms some slack, but this mom, she very quickly lost my respect. And I was just like, man, this woman, I'm not going to be surprised that, like, once her kids are old enough to move out, that they are not really going to
come back. Now, there were signs here. There were signs that the kids, because what happened was after the autograph thing happened, a cast member who was there reminded them. They were like, "Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, Judy and Nick only sign official documents. They don't do autographs." And it's something that ever since they've shown up, Judy and Nick haven't signed autographs. And obviously, like, there's the cute explanation behind it, but there's a reason, and it probably has to do with the suit design or something there that they're not able to sign, autographs. And so they play it off as, oh, this is why. Well, so once they find that out, the kids are like, oh, okay. And I think one of the girls kept saying, like, I really am a dumb bunny. Like, they were quoting the movie. and there were signs there that they, still would appreciate seeing the characters. And the mom kind of, like, when she heard that, was like, oh, well, should we just go? Should we go to see Olaf? To which I was like, ugh. Ew. To show you the quality mother this was, suggesting to see Olaf instead of Judy and Nick. Yeah. But
I think it's kind of dumb how she was just like, oh, we can't
it's-
get their autographs. They're no use.
so anyways, so this girl says, well, I can stay here in line if you guys want to go see Olaf. And as she's saying this, Judy and Nick are just now coming around the corner. And the mom just freaking screams at her daughter, she's right there!
Multiple times.
And at this point, I'm thinking Judy must be like, hello?
I'm a really big fan.
Like, Jesus Christ, lady, calm down. And so she's like just pissed off and getting ticked off at everything. Her kids, at this point now, Judy and Nick are there. They're starting to take pictures with people. We're near the back of the line, and I think that, what was it that the kids asked? Because this is where things really set into motion. This was where we get into the story that I tell Saber. So, do you remember
They
what?
asked a few questions. Like, one of the girls asked where the Fox taser was on Judy's belt. They said Fox taser, but it's supposed to be Fox repellent. But
Fox
and then one asked what her carrot pin was, and the mom, like, every single question was just like, I don't know.
Okay. Now,
And it's like,
she, as Sarah's saying, she's saying this, and then it gets to the point. Folks, buckle up. To paint the picture with intricate detail, we've already gotten the setup here.
Yeah.
I am standing here wearing a full-blown Zootopia shirt. It's got Judy Hopps on it. It says, join the ZPD today. And I'm standing here, right? And I'm like, uber fan. I'm like, oh my god, here they are. And all of a sudden I hear it. I hear the most disgusting, demolishing sentence that I could ever imagine a mother saying to her kids. Sarah, do you remember word for word what it was?
I don't remember word for word, but she's like, I think she was maybe talking to the cast member at the back of the line.
Oh,
I don't
Jesus
know who
Christ. If she said to the cast member, I would have...
I don't know who she was talking to, because I
thought she was
facing
talking
the
to
other
her
way.
kids.
I don't know. The way she was talking, it didn't sound like she was explicitly talking to her kids. But basically, like, what I got out of it, like, she said, oh, this movie made me lose hundreds of brain cells while watching it, but my kids like, so
She was
saying
saying,
take them to this.
I hated this movie. It made me lose brain cells. And I hear this, and I just glance over at Sarah, because at this point, Sarah must realize what's coming.
Yeah.
I get into no, fuck no, mo. And when she said that, like I said, I glance at Sarah, and then I just slowly turn my body, not just turn my head to glance at her. I fully turn around to look this lady in the goddamn eyes. And I just stare her down for like at least 20 to 30 seconds. I'm just sitting there staring at her. And she not once, given all that opportunity, made eye contact with me. And it's probably for the best, because when you like show teeth to a dog,
Show teeth to a dog.
it's just not a good idea. I was livid. I was pissed. I was ready to throw down with this woman,
with this poor mother who,
with
for all we know,
this terrible mother who shouldn't be reproducing.
Here's my question: what if this woman said the exact same thing? And be fair with me, said the exact same thing about Frozen.
I would've laughed.
I would have laughed
for real.
inwardly, but then I would have felt bad because that's her kids right there that she's talking shit about, pretty much.
But to put it in perspective, Saber, wasn't standing in line to get an autograph from a character from Frozen. If she had said that about Frozen, it's like I would have laughed. I probably not out loud, but like Sarah said, I probably would have been like, "That's funny." The fact of the matter is that this lady is surrounded by, like I said, the girl with the backpack, the Judy Hopps hat, me with my shirt here. There's clearly fans for someone who's not fucking blind to see that. Oh my gosh, there's people that enjoy. I can do it.
I mean, I guess I do think it's like if she made a scene like that, it's it's like, oh, come on, lady. But at the same time, like I do feel bad for some parents where it's like, because kids can be relentless.
These kids
were like really well behaved.
Like we observed this group for 5 minutes prior to things starting to really.
You had to be there, Saber. Like
I wish.
I try to give moms the benefit of the doubt because I know how hard it can be.
Sarah's worked
to keep stuff together when there's kids around. I know how hard it can be. I try to get on slack, but this woman, she very quickly and gradually and quickly lost any sympathy that I could have had.
There's a line.
Like eventually she was like, after this, we are leaving the park. And I'm just like, what did the kids do?
Yeah, I never figured that part out.
They didn't do anything. They just were asking her questions about the character. Like one of the girls was just like, where's Judy's carrot pin? And the mom's like, I don't know. But if you're gonna keep acting like this, we're gonna just leave after this. And I'm just like, good lord, what are you doing?
I actually did a no. I turned around and yelled the word "damn" after I stared her down to make it very clear that I was like, what the heck? And then Sarah's like, Jeffrey, we're at Disneyland. You can't say that.
Yeah, like he very loudly said, "Damn." And I'm like, Jeffrey. There's kids like right behind us.
Yeah, well, I wanted to have the child that was 40 years old that was standing there, losing her hair over the fact that she was standing in line for Judy and Nick. The thing is, you take your kids to Disneyland if you're going. Granted, this could be someone who goes to Disneyland like as often as we do and just doesn't give a crap. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to present yourself in public like that, hey, like, I'm sorry, benefit of the doubt was gone at this point, and I was just so done with this woman. And the fact that she had the gall to say that opened it up, because she didn't say it like to someone, like Sarah said. She was saying it out loud. Opened up for me to respond if I I actually held back. I was like, all the great things going through my mind that I could have said that could have gotten me kicked out of the park then and there. And I was like, I just turned around. I wanted to see if she had the guts to look at me. And naturally, I gave her plenty of opportunity. She probably was like, this guy's creepy. But
yeah, I just imagine like you turning around and like you're wearing a Zootopia shirt, but it's like way too small for you, so you like your belly showing a bit. and you've got like, and what I imagine is like your expression of disgust is like the Diamond Tiara face, where she's like, "That's a weird question." So you got like the double chin action going on.
I'm pretty sure just to like
someone draw that. Someone draw Race just looking disgusted with his very small Zootopia shirt and his like Diamond Tiara-esque like face.
I'm pretty sure this was the face I had, Saber.
What face? Oh my god.
The Michael Phelps.
The Michael Phelps angry face.
Dark
Phelps. I'm pretty sure that this was for everyone else on the chat. This is the face that I'm pretty sure I had, and it just it wasn't an appropriate spot for her to say that, and it really it hit me pretty hard, because I was like, wow, the fact that this mother is saying this to her kids, and that kind of attitude can shape how they look at Disney in general, at these characters, at this movie. I'm like, wow, what a all-time bitch. And yeah, no, I hope that she learns from this. I know she's watching the podcast, so just woman, Yeah. No, it was the ultimate. Now, that was as far down as things get. But then things got picked up pretty good.
How to get better?
Sarah, do you want to tell the story or do I?
I'll tell it because
Okay.
I'm a bit faster. You took like 2 hours telling that story.
You're like my mom, Race, who tells stories. I mean, you can tell good stories, but like sometimes like my mother will tell me a story, and I'm like, Mom, please, like you're spending 30 minutes to get to the actual story.
Well, I was trying to contain myself.
Okay, so that mother was very mean, and she was kind of ruining the experience for possibly her kids, and partially for me and Jeffrey. But, like, fortunately, it was all saved because Nick, whoever was behind the costume of Nick, definitely recognized Jeffrey at the least. And like when we were in line, we were behind maybe 2 more people. Nick pointed at Jeffrey,
In fear.
pointed directly at him, and like drew like a heart shape with his fingers. And, and then once we got to them, and Nick just clobbers him, like just engulfs him in a huge hug. And he gave him multiple hugs and like
And
kisses and heart symbols throughout the entire session because I am the meet up. Okay, because I'm 99% sure that this Nick recognized him because Jeffrey, like the 5 times that we've been going to go see them, he has had a different Zootopia shirt on, and sometimes even his hat. But yeah, like Nick just goes in for the hug, and actually Judy has to kind of like fight to get in there to get a hug.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we think Judy might have recognized him too, because she did eventually give him a kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about the kiss, Jeffrey?
Okay, so, Judy was all excited about, I'm wearing, like I said, the Judy Hop shirt and all that. And she salutes me, and I salute her back, and all this good stuff. And then she pulls me in for a hug. But something that has never happened to me with a character, because at this point, Nick hadn't done it either. She pulled me in, and then, Sarah, you're going to have to make the noise.
Okay.
I hear that. Followed by the noise that Saber made, yeah.
I am just a dumb slut. I'm just kidding. Enough about Nick.
Sarah's like already gone. No, yeah.
Are you slut shaming that fox?
I was actually legitimately caught off guard, where I was like, "Oh my god, I just got a kiss from Judy," and I know it.
And then Nick's like over there, like,
yeah, and then
giving
Nick
him like
pulls me
tons
in.
of kisses, and I'm just like sitting here in the corner, like, where's my hugs and kisses? I felt a little neglected.
More like a little Nick neglected.
Oh, did you really, Sarah?
No.
Okay. But no, it was, and then like Judy was blowing kisses and all this. I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, Judy was blowing me
I joked about that, like
kisses.
the idea of like Judy's like giving you hugs and kisses, and it just kind of just gets really weird as she like slides down on her knees, and all the kids are screaming at Disneyland. It's like, what's happening?
But it was
like Nick especially was just all over Jeffrey, like huge tackle hugs from Nick.
it's funny because he turned around so fast at one point when I was right behind him, and he just completely destroyed me with his face. Like, like he just got me right in the face.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually feel like these are the characters? Because I know that they're people in there. They're people you've never met, or strangers, or you don't know who they are. Do you feel like you can suspend that disbelief and actually feel like you're talking and meeting the characters?
In 2 ways, yes. The first off is I'm I'm still a big kid with a big imagination, and
Ooh,
so
now
for
you're
me,
bragging.
thank you.
That's huge.
That and like the performers inside, they know these characters inside and out. They know all of the little inflections that you see in the movie, like all the little gestures that they make.
How they
Everything. They
walk.
know everything, and they practice it every single day.
Yeah, to
And-
me, because these people are being employed by Disney to be the character for that day. For that day, that was Judy Hopps. You know, for that day, that was Nick Wilde. And so for me, it's that representation of that character. And it's more than just someone dressed up. It's more than like meeting a cosplayer. And like I said, it might sound, I don't care how childish it sounds.
I'm not giving you a hard time for that. I'm playing.
No. I know. I'm just saying in general for what I'm about to say is that when I got that Judy kiss, to me, I was like it legitimately caught me off guard, and it legitimately, SpongeBob. But it was just so cool, and it made me, still to this day, it was like a special feeling because I felt like it was, like Sarah said, there was some recognition there as well. So it was just really cool to almost feel like, hey, it's like I'm a little bit closer to being, like, so to speak, friends in a way where, I don't know, it just the whole interaction was just super special. It was my favorite interaction with them to date, and because I've had a couple where I'm like, whew, that was fun. But it's like, oh, but it wasn't as good as the first. This one was insane.
One of the examples of how these people like just meticulously study these characters and how they move, and there was this one guy in the line, like maybe 4 people ahead of us, and he was a very quiet, like he just sat there, like he just stood there and chatted with them for a while. Like, Nick was kind of leaning up on the rail and doing, like, all these different gestures that that Nick would do. Just, like, while this guy was talking, and they were like, yeah. They can't say anything back, but they're just like, yeah, we acknowledge that you are chatting with us right now.
And the thing...
Judy has her hands, folded in front of her like she usually does. It's very amazing what they do.
Yeah, and it's like going off that, like, yeah, no, it was cool, and it is cool, and I feel like I've gotten to a point where at some point I can realistically see Disney saying, okay, we've had these characters out, and now Moana's coming in, now we're gonna have those characters take the place or whatever, and
Dwayne The Rock Johnson just actually.
he doesn't have a line. I walk up. I'm like, where's Judy and Nick? Dwayne.
He's like, I don't know.
But I feel like I've been really lucky to be able to see these characters because Walt Disney World has these characters, but they're only in the parade. Like, that could have been swapped. It could have been that Disneyland had them in a parade and Walt Disney World had the meetup, and I recognize how lucky I am to even be able to get to, be able to give a hug to 2 of my favorite characters.
Yeah, because Ralph and Vanellope were already gone by the time that I could visit. Like, they were there for like a month. And I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck.
All right.
So
y'all want to do the Q&A for
Sure.
Yeah,
15,
we
20
can.
minutes?
Let's do.
We're gonna do it. So yeah,
Send in your questions, please.
it was a damn good.
I have some questions here I might just start pulling from if you guys have any.
Go for it.
All right, so got one from Oziel. He says, thoughts on the overtime and work for the animators during Sausage Party and the future animation company in Vancouver. So, for those who don't know, Sausage Party had some negative publicity because some of the animators who worked on it got, like, crap hours, poor pay, weren't credited, and just an overall poor experience for them, where it was kind of like slave labor, and also the very sad fact that this isn't super rare in the industry. So what do y'all think?
I think it's, definitely something that needs to be talked about, that needs to be changed, because, it's illegal. I don't know how, I guess maybe I do know how, but they're just getting away with it. And, when somebody says something and steps up, then, the company is like, well, we can just outsource this and hire some other people for cheaper to do this work, which is, I think, mostly how Canada gets most of their work. Like, the Canadian animation companies get employed a lot because I guess they work for cheaper.
And this was a Canadian
Yeah.
animation.
And I think
deal.
Canada animation studios get hit the hardest by this type of issue. But I don't know. I don't know all that much about the animation industry and how it works, all the insides and outs of it. But it's definitely something that needs to be stopped. But I don't know how to.
There's certain things I don't know, and this isn't me saying one's right or one's wrong. The best I can do is compare it to the type of work that I do. And with engineering, sometimes you'll have projects come up that I've seen across the board, not just saying where I work, but in general, where you'll get companies that get a contract, and the way they'll get the contract is they'll bid for it. And sometimes what they'll do to get that project is they'll underbid and then go into the work, and then all of a sudden realize, oh crap, we don't have the resources to, go all the way with this project. And sometimes either the company itself goes down or the employees get screwed. Like I said, I'm not using my work as a comparison, otherwise I'd have a different job. But
race is going out.
But no, so I wonder if there's a similar deal where, these animation studios, so to speak, are saying, well, we can do it for this price, and then they do it, and then sometimes the person that is the paying customer throws on some things that, oh, well, we didn't budget for that, but it needs to get done. Oh, we didn't realize we have to do that. And I wonder if that's a scenario that's been happening where these studios are just, because obviously the studio wants to make money, and you got to wonder, like, the thing with movies is it's weird because, like, I guess to differentiate it from the engineering work I do is it's not like they put dollar signs on projects that I work on and then say, well, your project just made this much money in the box office. So it's weird. I don't know, but it's obviously something that you want it to be fair for everybody, and hopefully things get sorted out. And if this is the movie to bring things to light that there's an issue, then, because I think that's the biggest problem, is that not many people knew that this was a problem.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew.
I got a question here from Alec Greer asking, Sarah, if you could bring back Wander for a season 3, what episode would you come up with?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would have liked to see what Wander's life was like before Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
Because they, in the last season, they very much hinted at Wander being this being that just surpasses time. Like,
surpasses? What do you mean surpasses time?
Like,
immortal?
He's immortal. Like, he's, like,
because he's never shown you, like,
thousands of years old.
Does he actually have any
one
powers outside of, like, his infinite
No.
hand? Okay.
Mm-mm. No, he doesn't have any powers. He just seems to be infinite life-wise. Like, he's lived for a very long time.
But can he be killed?
Yeah.
Good.
I think so. Yeah.
Good.
I don't think he's...
He's like Gandalf.
Ask the producers from Disney. They killed him.
He has some sort of magic ability to him, but I don't think he is impervious to being killed by somebody or,
So if it was Wander versus, like,
and I don't
Iron Man,
think he has any, like...
Oh,
I don't think he
man.
has any magical powers that can actually pain on people. Not like he would want to do that anyway. But
Sarah.
yeah, like he's super old.
She's wanderlusted.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got a lot of really great episodes that I really cherish from that show already, and it's kind of hard for me to come up with something that I would want because I feel like I mean, in general, I want more episodes.
Saber, do you have an answer for
But-
this?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's an episode where Wander dies and Lord Harry gets a spin-off show.
Well, I got an answer and a question. My answer is quite simply, I wanted to see a legitimate finale for the show once it goes. Like, I want to see where I guess where you could say the show knew that this was going to be their last episode, and see what they do with it. Because I don't think we really got that. I feel like we kind of got Sarah, so to speak. They didn't really know that was their last episode until after it was made, right?
I think they had a bit of a heads up. I think they knew that this would be the ending of the show, but I think they're just still kind of hopeful. You know, the fact that they still added in that last little cut scene, as they usually do at the end of the series, they hinted at season 3 what it would have been like or what would have happened. So I think they're still kind of hopeful that it will get picked up again someday, and I hope so, but the chances are slim.
A lot
now
of
here's
shows
my
are being canceled. I mean, Gumball was announced, I think yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it's we're coming to the end of this generation of cartoons that started in 2010. Paleo thinks, and I agree with him, that Adventure Time is next, and they're starting to be phased out. I'm not sure how long Steven Universe is going to last. I'm going to say maybe 1 or 2 more years, but you can tell that Cartoon Network's pushing, and they're trying to get a new batch in, which
They better keep SpongeBob around.
Yeah, I hope Cartoon
That's
Network keeps
Nickelodeon.
SpongeBob along.
Oh, so you mean specifically Cartoon
And
Network?
regular shows ending after this next
Yeah.
year.
Wow.
Regular show. Who else? Nickelodeon doesn't really have anything.
Why don't they just
Where's
cancel Uncle Grandpa?
It is canceled.
Oh,
Disney,
good.
Disney Channel doesn't really have anything either that I can think of.
They lost Gravity Falls.
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean.
They got
Yeah,
that Weird Al show from the guys who made
Weird Al.
from Phineas and Ferb.
In Disney, they've got oh wait, no, I think that's Nickelodeon.
What
Which
you
one's
said?
The Loud House? Is that Nickelodeon?
Yeah, I like that show. It's
Okay.
good. If
I
not-
watched a couple episodes. I don't think it's for me.
oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
I have a question I want to ask you guys. Okay.
Why? I have a quick one for Sarah. It's basically a pick one.
Zootopia related.
No, keep your question, please.
Never mind.
But no, the question I had for Sarah was, since we were talking about Wander Over Yonder, what would you rather if Disney is like, we have one character that we're gonna add to our meet and greets, and they said Wander Over Yonder or Felix?
Felix.
Really?
Yeah.
I want.
They're basically the same character, so. But Felix is the first one that,
Took her heart.
yeah.
I want to see Danny DeVito cosplay.
Alec Guerra has a question related to the Loud House and me. He was asking, Sarah, if you've seen the Loud House, who's your favorite sister? Probably the one that makes the puns. All the puns.
Okay, I need to know
I
Saber's
don't know her
question.
name. I can't keep track of all
I
of
don't,
them.
I don't care. I don't care about questions. You all keep going.
Okay.
No, wait, I wanted to know about your question.
Oh, too late. No. Now here's a question. So I saw this on a Who Would Win thread. It was, if Mr. Peabody replaced Judy in Zootopia, do you think he could have found the criminal, and if he could, how quick could he have done it? So pretty much, Mr. Peabody replaces Judy. What happens now?
But dogs don't exist in Zootopia.
No, yeah.
But assuming they could. Okay.
And if it's a stomp, then throw in Sherman to see if it can even it out.
I kind of feel like it would be the same pace.
Really? You don't think Peabody would raffle stomp that with his brilliance?
I don't think so.
The guy invented a time machine, for Christ's sake.
I know, but still, like, given all the other stuff in the movie, like, he's still caught by surprise by some things, and, like, you know,
like how much of an idiot Sherman is.
Peabody and Sherman, like, and we'll say that to make it fair, Nick joins them.
So there's 3.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel...
What do you feel?
I still feel like all the clues were hidden well enough and revealed at a gradual pace,
Nope.
you know.
I guarantee Mr. Peabody would have been like, Sherman, by simply hacking into the computer, I found that the sheep bitch is behind it. You see, when I hung out with the
Spoilers.
drug lords in South America, I...
No, I really...
Sherman, by following the farm
believe it would have
supply.
been the same pace. I don't think...
Nope. I promise.
Okay, so why? Why do you think Peabody would have, like, just mopped the floor?
He would have wiped
What
them
would
out.
he have found out before Nick and Judy?
He would have time traveled. Alright.
If he didn't have the time traveling, okay? If it was just him as
He
a
time
police...
traveled to see who was in jail, and then he's like, aha!
I won.
I feel like that's some kind of paradox cheating.
The only thing Judy and Nick can beat Peabody and Sherman is in the box office.
Is in the poor. Yeah, so the box office.
I think Peabody is just... I mean, the guy's a goddamn genius. I feel like Judy didn't have, like, any supplies. Mr. Peabody would have knocked down the logo, you know, he would have ran circles around Bogo and be like, you know, give me everything. Give me all your evidence. And then Mr. Peabody would have just been, like, where Judy...
That
like,
was all the evidence that they had, though,
no,
was that
for
picture of...
example,
the mom.
at the DMV, he wouldn't have waited for that sloth. He'd be like, "Come, Sherman, we're gonna go find this ourselves," and like jump over the computer and like bazap it out with a flash stick and be like, "Thank you," and you're...
Now here's my question though. Do you think that that would be a fair fight in the sense that would Peabody have been given as much crap as Judy was, since she was a rabbit in the police force? Do you think he would have gotten the similar amount of flack?
He's a man. He's a white man. Of course he's fine.
So he
The only
I don't know.
The only problem with Peabody is he has to explain like why the hairless ape is following him around.
God damn.
you mean Sherman?
Yeah.
Yes, even.
No. Judy.
I don't know. Like, I guess if you take that into account, that if, you know, Peabody was a little more privileged than Judy was at the beginning,
Check
at the
your
start.
privilege.
Shut up! Okay? It's an actual word, and it actually applies. Fuck with.
We have social justice on Mr. Peabody. Use your proper pronouns.
You know, Zootopia.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, okay. So, like, assuming that both of them had the same, you know, the police car, the whatever mobile. Okay, I'm done.
No,
All right,
no,
let's go to the next question.
no. Keep going.
Wait, Sarah.
Okay,
Sarah,
if
wait.
they had the same stuff to start at the beginning, I feel like they would have paced throughout the movie, because the way that the evidence is revealed in such a way that you cannot, you can't piece it all together at once. You have to have all of it. And even though Peabody is a genius, I still believe that, like, I feel like he'd have to assume a lot in order to reach the conclusion that Bellwether was the mastermind of the stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's other things I guess that could come into play. Like, if Peabody were so ahead of the game, would he have been able to narrow down the fact? Like, let's say that Peabody didn't have the same situations, because Judy being in the situation of doing all the parking stuff is what ran her into Weselton in the first place, which is what eventually led her going back to him. So it's like, well, wait a minute. If Peabody wasn't in that position, then he...
Oh, yeah, you know what? Judy has the upper hand of knowing all that botanical stuff, but Peabody might have known it, too.
Oh, he studied everything. You know, he'd be like, Shaman, this is
He probably
the
knew it, too.
blueberries.
The blueberries.
Like, it's interesting to think, you know...
It's actually a really good matchup.
Judy versus... No, it's not. If it was anything outside
Given
of...
all this stuff
if
that,
it was
like,
anything
you know...
outside of this little predicament, if it would have been like an actual fight, you know, Mr. Peabody versus Judy in a fight to the death, Mr. Peabody would break her neck.
Without
Okay.
his gizmos?
No,
He knows judo.
he doesn't have any...
He has a time machine.
He's got the time machine, but he
gonna
doesn't
run her over?
He doesn't have, like, a magic watch that, like, tech watch that has all these, like, Batman stuff on it. He just uses his wits. But here, get this.
She has to.
All right, the moment where Judy knew that those flowers were what Weselton were stealing the whole time, but I guess she just didn't connect the fact that they drove animals insane when
Yeah,
ingested.
apparently, it's
Do you
like it
think
wasn't
Peabody would
common
have known
knowledge.
that, given how studied he is?
I don't think it's common knowledge, though. I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, well, maybe the whole
But
scenario...
apparently Mr. Otterton knew.
Well, he's also someone who works in
Well, here's one.
botany.
He's a florist. He's a professional. He knows this stuff.
I got you. Right here. Okay. Perry the Platypus versus Judy Hopps.
Ooh.
I still think.
Think about this.
I'm gonna go with Judy. Well, what are they like? Is it a fight to the death?
Yes, it is.
Or
Okay, so we're just doing brutality versus fight.
okay, a game of chess.
Well, you never know what gadgets Perry will have on him.
Like a gun.
Oh,
Well, he often has a hook gun.
she has a fox taser.
Usually has a glider
Fox
or a
taser.
parachute. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's got his watch that does some different stuff. So he might have an upper hand
Yeah.
in a fight.
Sorry, I really derailed.
But
this.
we've never really gone like we never really got to see Judy, like, so to speak, in
kill
a
anybody.
fight.
She
Yeah, we
fucked
only got
around.
a
we
snippet
saw
of her,
we
like,
saw in
beating that
yeah
man down.
no, and she did. She took that guy down, and then there's a few other scenarios where she actually had to use like
But she got captured by those bears. She gave up pretty quickly on that. She didn't even fight.
yeah, because her neck was in between his meaty paws, and she was like, no, death is very.
Polar bear.
All right, shall we move to the next question?
Yeah, we can do a few more. Go ahead and if you want.
Okay.
If you have one, knock it out.
Oziel asks thoughts on the new Magiswords. So that's
Oh,
another Cartoon
goodness.
Network.
What?
I've seen trailers. I saw like a short. I'm not really impressed.
Neither mind. Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. I am.
The
not
animation's really low budget
impressed. Yes.
on this.
I got a Star versus the Forces of Evil vibe, but in a very contrived way.
It's like a mix of Star versus the Forces of Evil and Barbarian, except not very funny.
You cut out with what?
Conan the Barbarian. Did you ever watch that show?
Conan or because I
Oh wait, no, sorry. It's like there was
no, I'm with you.
this one show on
Dave.
either Disney Network. Dave the Barbarian. Thank you.
That's so funny. I mean, I'm not sure. Did we
Yeah,
talk about
it
this
was a
before,
funny
you and
show. No, I think it was around our time. I think it was
Sarah, no. I mean, cause I'm not sure if we spoke about Magisword or not, but I promise you that's the exact same thing I told Paleo. It's like David the Barbarian meets Star, and it's not funny.
Yeah.
I like Grey Delisle. She's the voice of the female, and I'm certain that I feel like some of these people are like, yeah, this would make up for lots of porn, and so that's the first thing they saw. I'm like, here we go. But the show doesn't look like it doesn't. There's nothing new about it really. I'm just kind of like, you know, if this was like a third tier show along with some flagship shows, I'd be like, cool. But people are like praising this to be like the next big thing. I'm like, really? I don't see it. And all the Mighty Magisword, blah, 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 Mighty Magisword. I'm like, that's not funny. It's annoying.
Sometimes I think people
Yeah,
just
they're really
want...
pushing that. Like I swear, like within an hour, I saw like 15 commercials for that show, and I'm like, ugh.
They want another Teen Titans Go so badly.
Let's see here. Alec Greer has a question, but have any of you seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
Oh, favorite character?
That's tough. The
Because I haven't seen it.
The Demigorgon. Oh, it's a really good show. I'd recommend it if you have Netflix. Check it out if you've got like.
Cadet Richard drew me as a thug.
Yes, Cadet drew you as a thug, and me in my Judy shirt going above my stomach. Alec also asks, or he says, "I miss Chronicles of Narnia. How about you guys?"
There's supposed to be another one coming out here soon.
Is there really
Yeah.
another movie?
The Silver Chair, which is, in my opinion, the best of the books. So, well, besides the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. So,
You read the books?
yeah, I loved them.
I didn't
I think
read
I read
them.
all two of the books.
It's such a weird relationship I have with that series because I didn't read the books, but I really enjoyed the first movie, and then I just for some reason never had interest to go beyond it.
The
Like,
books
I don't think I've
are
seen-
really weird. It's not like Lord of the Rings where it's like the journey continues on. Like there's some really crazy stuff. Like well, now you're on a boat. Now you brand new set of characters. Now it's like the Battle of Armageddon, but with lions and other
Tigers and bears. Oh man.
Well, you're not wrong. There's one about like some kid in like the desert with his horse. It's just like what? But it's good. I
Don't
liked
know.
them. They're good.
Sketchy has a question asking, will you ever put the podcast on the Podcasts app? It's an iPhone Apple thing.
I need like money to put it on SoundCloud, or unless you guys know a podcast archiving service, it's annoying.
What? We're poor. Red Card asks, being a Disney fan, what are your thoughts on Elena of Avalor?
Elena of Avalor. I
That
watched
one.
a couple of episodes, and I'm like pretty impressed. Like for a Disney Junior show, it's actually pretty well fleshed out, and like it's pretty good actually. Like I like it. I like
haven't
what I've
seen it.
seen so far.
Shifro asks me, how many times have you seen Zootopia? In all, including at-home experiences. The only count I have is the theater. I saw it 27 times in theaters. I've completely just
He
given up on
actually has
counting.
not watched this movie very much at home.
Hey,
Really?
don't.
Because he's
Don't
got
just-
so many other movies that he gets on the box that he has to take care of.
Okay, so truth be told, I'm kind of in a... Like, now that I've watched it 27 times, I'm actually in a spot where I'm like, okay, letting it kind of boost back up, and then I can watch... Because I want to watch it again with Sarah, so she can see all the extras on the DVD. She hasn't seen those yet. So... and then, yeah, Cadet Red Shirt, awesome. I had to retweet that. Sketchy's asking, what did your first Pony OCs look like? I think they look like they do now.
Yeah, Jeffrey's OC is
Wait, Saber, did you have a different looking one before?
No, I did not. Someone drew one
Wait,
for me. That one that looked different, but I was like, that looks cool. Like, I drew your OC, and I'm like, oh, thank you, but.
Why do I feel?
By the way,
Um,
Sketchy, if you have like a high def version of that picture that you drew for us of like myself and Ray's, could you send it to me? Because I'm gonna probably print it out and put it on my new like fan board thing, and I'm gonna feature it in my next YouTube video.
Yeah.
Um,
What were
I
you
think,
saying, sir?
well, Jeffrey's has been the same since its conception. Mine's changed only minimally. Like, I changed the base color of my pony to, like, from a kind of a greenish blue to, like, a more teal turquoise type of color.
I like
And
that,
then I
see.
gave my pony glasses and a half-shaved haircut.
She's cool looking.
Sketchy has a question, by the way, asking, if you were a Zootopia character, what animal would you be?
I'd probably be a jackrabbit.
Sarah, what did we come up with for me?
Actually, no, like, if we were, like, a couple thing, you'd be a platypus and I'd be a jackalope.
Oh, dear God.
Like those Lunchables.
Would be, well, they're in Zootopia, jackalopes. Wait. Okay,
Oh,
are they?
yeah. Well, at least they used to be. They might be extinct.
They died. And Shifro, to answer your question, did I look like this? Yes, that is exactly how I looked. Oh, man. Joy is asking, what song do you think... It's the Zootopia podcast. What song do you think fits for Nick and Judy? Saber, I know you got some on your iPod, a folder that says Nick and Judy music.
I
know you do.
Probably some R. Kelly song.
Sarah?
I don't know.
Probably something like
Try everything.
"Sleeping with a man for a little bit of money, but daddy ain't home." Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Whatever that old rap song.
Was that like Popeye?
Yeah, the Popeye theme song.
I am what I am.
No, yeah, something deliciously romantic. Cadet says, what is one book you would want to make into an accurate movie representation?
The Bible.
Playboy episode 13. The Phantom Strikes Back.
The Phantom Hand. My problem is I don't read enough books.
Yeah.
I read every now and then, but it's not very frequent enough to like have a specific book on hand for that question.
I remember enjoying, what was it, though?
I mostly read graphic novels anyway, so it's
it was-
kind of like basically a movie.
The Something Boys.
The Hardy
I
Boys?
forget their name. It might have been the Hardy Boys.
That's the only I can really think of.
I read those as a kid, and I was like, oh, these are cool.
And like one of my favorite books already has a pretty accurate movie is To Kill a Mockingbird. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Let's
Yeah.
do one last question.
Okay.
Did you have any on your end, Saber? I've been pulling a bunch from Twitter.
You pretty much hit them all.
Oh, okay. So there's nothing we missed over there.
On my end.
All right. Well, then I guess we can finish it with this one. Asking, it's loyal, just asking. I've been busy the past 5 podcast episodes. How have you all been?
Good.
Fine.
Yeah. Welcome back.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. Good. Everything's awesome.
And Redcard quickly just he says if we've heard about Miraculous Ladybug. I've heard about it. I haven't quite gotten into it yet because I know it's like shipping hell. It is. It literally is a shipping hell. But yeah. I've heard of it. I might check it out eventually. But yeah. I never seem to catch it when it's on. It's apparently on Nickelodeon. But I just haven't caught it. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today.
Alright, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your questions and your viewership. And we'll be back here in a few weeks, so see you all then.
Goodbye.
Pony.